Hello and welcome to TFT EMEA Regional Finals. Final day, game number 4. Enjoy.
Pretty nice. So I understand why there's several players spread out.
In Spain, we call ecliptic balls the scuttle puddle for boring people.
Yes.
So
Well, it'll be a rerun. Where's my scuttle puddle plushie?
Ooh.
Oh, it fell.
Okay, and it's very interesting right here. How many Earth players do we have? We saw that vertical line, especially in Scuttle Puddle, when you do get to expand your gold pool so hard from the very get-go, is so important. The Noxian line, especially the Demacian line, are the two most prevalent that we have that have actually won games pretty decisively. So getting a Demacia spot early on or getting that Noxus line early on could mean a swift victory when the stages go past.
I'm really looking forward to a person getting like a full gold opener, just going like 40 gold to 1. And running out to level 7 or level 8. That would be so awesome to see.
Baby would have been level 7 here, so.
Oh, right.
We'll be seeing how players move through the first couple of stages one more time. Question is, do you think there will be another compete on the multicasters now that it didn't really work out for Yaroi? Do you think anyone's going to be tempted again to be like, hey, Zyko, we cannot let you get away with it?
So I guess you really have to think if you're actually able to like compete for the top 1st spot. I don't really think so. I mean, Psycho is pretty much close to locking top 4, right? So maybe you have to look out for yourself and go for another line like Demacia Vertical or something like that. It's a hard choice for sure.
I feel like the legends have remained the same for everyone as well. We're looking at Voltarix, Og, and Dark Hydra with that Earth. Seeing what they get after this particular PvE round could be huge. I mean, for Voltarix, he has been Demacia all along. Every time he does manage to get one of these emblems in his team, he does manage to top 2. And he's incredible on this line. So for him to actually open a tome and get that Demacia spot could be huge.
Yeah, it will depend on a little bit of tailoring. Like we were saying before, you can guarantee one, but it will be very, very hard to kind of hard force the Demacia. So we'll see whether or not there is a little bit of Fortuna involved with it. Now augments will arrive here. What are they going to be? Has to be the big question. Could be Prismatics first, is going to be Silver instead.
No, but you actually have to be excited about silver augments. I think those are the ones that are not as balanced with each other. So maybe like Component Buffet is like amazing in comparison to other ones, or Bruiser Heart.
Interesting.
All right, and did any of our players go for the 50 volt? Tarix has gone for the complete RNG, choosing that random emblem through the Earth. And it's going to be Ishtar. And he's already used the Reforger.
Oh, but it's a Wood Ixtal.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, this is awesome.
Now,
All right, talk to us about it, Snooty.
Okay, so there's a lot of different lines you can go for here. Obviously, the strongest one is probably Cho'Gath, but you're two-way contested on that. But you can use pretty much any unit you want. You can go for Grapes, old school, extra HP. In China, I saw a very interesting reroll. Maybe he doesn't know it here. It's based around Swain, even though you don't have your hero augment, because you kind of use it as an alternative Nico. And yeah, it's just interesting to see what he prioritizes. The easy one is to go for Graves. He's already stacking him. But especially you can have access to 4 Ixtal very, very soon. So that actually also gives you extra damage.
Disaster, disaster, disaster. That's a Piltover comp right here. That's about to not lose the first round. Dark Hydra using the unified defenses on Piltover?
I'm not defending Piltover anymore. I'm done with it. I've tried.
you know, you want to love it, but you hate it. I get it. It's
Little
not
bit of a
the
whoopsie right
funnest
there.
thing.
Actually using the unified defenses for the extra on Piltover was probably what actually led to him winning that round.
The question is if he wants to play this, right? If he just takes this to get a little bit of extra gold, some upgrades, and then moves it out later to go into a different stage, and I don't actually hate it. You're playing strongest board, you're getting some extra upgrades that nobody else will have access to, which will allow you to have a strong early game.
Yeah, and then you don't feel so bad about just like abandoning a Piltover route. Because we've seen Og like lose twice on this, so he knows about it. He knows it's been performing not so well. I think I'm on your side, Makes. I would do it like that as well.
Yeah, and it's working, right? You're seeing it. Piltover is pretty strong. You just got one more unit on the bench similar to Void. It doesn't give you the CC, but it will give you an extra body that units will attack to allow you to go through. He has the Orianna too. He has the Jace, which will buff up anything that's next to him. So I think Dark Hydra is in a decent position here, and like we were saying, it's just going to get a little bit of extra here, even if it's just 1 gold, 2 gold. Those rack up real fast.
And it could be a potentially something like the Gunners, I'm seeing him hold the 2 Graves is on the board, on the bench. He does have the Jace already very early on together with the Jinx. And we tried a little bit with Og, and he said, you know what, like, Piltover doesn't work very well. Well, he said it, but he still went with Piltover twice back to back. But if you go towards something like the Jinx and you win streak, that means you can skyrocket your gold to the point where you can get to that level 6, be very healthy, but also have a healthy enough economy to roll for that 3-star Jinx.
Very interesting point here for Wet Jungler. This is probably even better than having TF Augment because in Scuttle Puddle you get a lot of extra items. That means you can get perfect components on all of your carries immediately instead of waiting for them, like these Titans and Nico, while stacking HP and not losing your own HP on the way.
Yeah, really, really nice. Also has a little bit of the Invoker part already online, but with just 1 Nico, 1 Soraka, lacking some fortification here in the early stage is gonna lose. But moving into the carousel, 3 players are 100 HP. Now, I, for one, I am happy and surprised to see Travis at least at the top of the leaderboard for one after a couple of rough games.
Talking about top, I'm seeing Alana at the bottom of his webcam. This is Soju mode when you're completely immersed into your game. So I'm expecting some really great things here.
Yeah, that's the full focus mode.
Yep.
Big Poro, go full ham. The TFT player mood.
All right, all of the upgrades have been picked. I'm a little bit scared. You pointed it out already earlier on, Snooty. Yaroi and Lalana on that Bruiser Heart. How is that going to shake out for them? We know that you can kind of go more into the Cho'Gath. We've seen a Rek'Sai variation of the Bruisers as well, but it's not as easy to find as it is with the Cho, for example.
So there's a problem here. Yaroi is just going to use it as a pivot kind of a board. And Lalana already played Cho'Gath once today. He went 8th. I don't really like this approach anymore. First of all, because you need a Cho'Gath 2 that's stacking from very early on. He doesn't have that. And also in Scuttle Puddle, people are going to be stronger than usual. And so Cho'Gath after his nerf is especially suffering in those situations.
Also, the items are not the greatest currently. I believe that both of these players will be looking to potentially go for an Azir in the backline or a Nila rather in the backline, one or the other, depending on what items fit their carries the best or what champions they find first, right? And then they curate the items to the current carry. Now, it's a little bit strange because we saw the Bruiser line very prevalent in days 1, but in days 2, a lot of the players who went for that Bruiser line didn't end up doing that well.
On the other side of the board, we did see Og here. You mentioned it already, Trouble, kind of the back-to-back gunners not working out. You need a new direction. You need a new orientation. And if I'm
That doesn't count for Psycho. There's no new orientation here.
No. I'm not surprised about Psycho, but I'm glancing at Og's board, at his units.
Yeah.
And if I'm seeing correctly, Og not only has blood money, so has racked up a lot of money here, but Og also is running a Kale, at least for now. That's a comp he played twice. That's a comp he did well with twice. There might be a chance.
Okay. In Kale, we trust. Potentially the Master line, you know, later on you might get an emblem as well. Potentially running that 9 stack, the vertical line. Also, Kale spikes level 9 as well, so that would be the dream.
For sure. And Hydra tried to navigate those Piltover win streak. He was stopped by this Void Opener, which is just so strong, but at least he was very close to getting all this extra income.
Yeah, question is, where does he go with it? You can see he's holding a bunch of units there in the back. Also doesn't decide to sell them off to make bank here, but we will be moving into the equivalent of Crux, and the players that are on those one-cast lines will notably roll after this. Those are the players that have not gone to level 5, so there's only one of them, and that's Lalana.
Well, Torix is actually already rolling during the creep round because he's
oh.
totally certain that he wants very specific units like Graves 3 and other one costs. So he actually has a 2-star now, much better item projection for him, and also stacking that X-Style on Graves and Kiana, which is great.
And that's his comfort pick as well, Trouble, right? You were kind of talking about it top of the day. Volta and the Rogues, they go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Again, it's a very pricey composition, but if there's a pricey composition to run during any portal, that would be Scuttle Puddle. You've got so much gold that you can roll off of. He's been rolling through the entire stage, and he's still at 63 gold, so you've got plenty. Now, the only thing you don't have plenty during Scuttle Puddle or any other portal, for that matter, except one, is HP. So he needs to make sure that he hits some of his key upgrades upgrades right here, right before the next augment comes through.
And this is the roll down. We are looking specifically for that Graves. Anything else that we want, we can pick up as well. You can see he's making some bench space here. Milio will come through. We pick that up. We pick up the Kiana. But really, the Graves is the big, massive unit you do want here. And we are aware that Volta is known for having a little bit of a slower APM during those roll downs. There's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek jokes here about him being older than other players. I assure you, it has nothing to do with that. It's his brain making very precise decisions, making sure that all of these are done correctly. This man has insane APM if he wants to.
To defend Voltarix in this specific scenario, I don't think you want to dig deeper anyway, because you would just go broke and go to top 8. I'm actually surprised he went lower than 30, because the shop just wasn't giving him Graves, and you kind of need to save up a little bit more gold.
And you're 2 off, right? Like if you were
Exactly.
1 off, you just sprint all the way down to 0. But you're 2 off, you were looking for potentially maybe a Katarina 2, which wouldn't be necessarily a huge spike for your board. You weren't anywhere near that Milio either. Last stand could potentially be something that he can look for, especially if he's playing the road. Nope, nope, nope.
Just instantly rolls it.
Doesn't care.
Nope. I was about to say, make sure Rogue's a little bit beefier. They already have the damage. It gives them raw stats. We don't last
one
stands
more
here.
Graves. Is this
Now you
where we
sprint to
send
0.
it?
For sure.
Finds Kiana 2, finds Graves 3. That's so good. 3 items. You're now looking in a much better position than you were previously. And if I saw that correctly, that's robotic as well.
Yeah, it's great to carry as a second unit in this comp. I don't think he can go to 4 Ishtal very easily until he's level 7, so that's probably not happening. But he's still stacking for free, more or less.
He had to sell some of the units as well, just to keep that... only that Milio 2. He was going for Milio 3. Only Milio 2. Dark...
Okay.
Wait.
Aren't we saying that Piltover sucks? Why is
Hold
Dark Hydra picking Shimmering Inventors?
I think he's just planning to keep that Jinx and potentially go for a Jace carry right here. We don't see it very often, but with the correct items onto the Jace, you can pretty much use him as your primary carry. Now, the thing that I'm wondering right here is to go Piltover 6 for it to gain that full power, you need a spat.
Oh, but isn't that a Piltover spat? This is the one that gives you % damage on your Piltover unit.
On your Piltover, but I was thinking maybe Piltover 6, get a Heimerdinger also in there?
Okay.
Potentially swap?
So confused. You are seeing the augment card here again. You're going to get a little bit of bonus
It has to
damage
be a
for the
Jace carry.
gold that you have. And I think we are just playing for strength. I'm at a loss. You're the analyst. Tell me what's this.
Okay, so on the bright side, we have very good items for a front line, a very good component for a back line. The problem here in such a lobby is that you need to keep a very good balance with your gold and hitting your units. Now it's fine, you're 85 HP, you've got a lot of time. But you're eventually going to have to roll down at level 7, and at some point, give up some damage to get the Jace 3-star. And that's going to be very scary for him.
Okay, I have, I'm cooking, okay? I have a theory.
Okay, let her
My
cook.
theory is Dark Hydra is very comfortable with going to level 9 and then capping the board out that way. Could this be the long con of actually playing down an augment, trying to make it there with the extra gold that the Shimmering Inventions generate, and then you go 9 and you try to find a legendary soup?
I will one-up that.
It's cooking. I'm sorry.
I will one up the madness. I'm gonna throw in all my spices and say you carry that that Jace up until you find that Heimerdinger, then you slam the Rage Blade on the Heimerdinger. He's your main carry. We cooked a little bit too much.
It's
Okay,
broke now.
We cooked a
so-
little bit too much.
So far, the suggestions are we go 6 Piltover or we go level 9.
I think that's
Okay.
your only...
Okay.
It's overcooking.
What?
I'm
do you
definitely
do
the only
with
person
this?
playing Piltover on this stream. That's fine. It's okay.
Save us.
I personally love that he's doing that. We're going to be watching as he does, but of course, with the carousel also come the items. Lalana finding a Bruiser emblem and Og finding a Demacia emblem after already being on that Demacia line. I think we need to check in with both of them as soon as possible. Here is the Lalana board. On the other side, we are seeing Volta come through. He has now found Thieves' Gloves, going to slam them on the Katarina. But Og really is the big story for me. He
What's happening
Mordekaiser too.
On 3-5.
But why has he got a Deathblade? I don't really see. Is he trying to pivot to Nilla, but like the slowest pivot ever with a
I mean, hey, if you find the Mordekaiser 2, might as well play the Mordekaiser 2, right?
Why slam a Deathblade on him? Maybe just put it on Rek'Sai or something? I don't know. Okay, I'm a bit lost there. Oh, look at Psycho. What is he playing this game?
Surprise! He's gonna be the multicasters right here. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bit weird. Maybe he already had the Deathblade. He was just rolling down to potentially find that one Nila. Didn't end up finding it, but if you do have that Mordekaiser too, it is an auto-attack based champion technically, so his bonks hurt a little bit more.
That's a bit harder. I like it. Okay.
AD-wise, sure. Doesn't scale a lot with his AP, of course, but he does a job right here. It's still stage 3, which not a lot of people can say that they have a 2-star 4-cost unit on stage 3, so I guess you use the snowball so far until you find the carry that you're looking for.
Yeah, checking back in with Og now. We are seeing some upgrades come through in the right side of the screen. We shall not be distracted by them. Og on that Quinn, on that Mordekaiser as well. Really, really good target for that Demacia emblem to kind of slam, get some tempo, get some power. We see the Mordekaiser be such a strong unit. Of course, you'd like him to be leveled up, but the one big gripe I have with this board is the J4 one that's carrying all of the items, all of the front line. You look at him and he's going to fall over.
I would say if this wasn't an accelerated lobby, you go 9. Your board is pretty strong. You've got that Raiden item onto your Mordekaiser. You've got 3 key items onto your Queen 2. You just sprint it all the way to level 9. And if worse comes to worse and you're 1 life, then you just roll it down for some upgrades. But right here, this is a very accelerated lobby in general. I don't know if that Queen 2 will be able to get you to that level 9 sound and safe.
By the way, very good thing for Lalana happening here. He's got 2 Bruiser emblems, which makes it so much easier to get a 6 Bruiser, and we all know how strong that is. Cho'Gath is already tanking so much with only 2 items, so he's going to be scaling quite a lot, actually.
I'm telling you, this is the new tech, by the way.
This is the new tech?
That DB Mordekaiser is the new tech.
All right, we'll be listening to what's going on. Dark Hydra going level 7 here. I'm pretty sure he still has money. If I'm not mistaken, he's okay on the overall money. But check out the damage of the Mordekaiser. Snooty statement!
Okay, I'm going to start building Deathblade, and if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to blame Dark Hydra, or sort of Roy, sorry. I'm going to blame it for all my elo. It's okay.
That's okay. You got to blame someone.
Yeah.
When I came back for the finals, I was looking at my older notes in general that I made about players, and I had the most notes in general about Yaroi, because in Golden Spatula Cup 2, he was a very inventive player. He was playing things out of the box, completely different compositions. He would juice them up with different units that you wouldn't think of. So the fact that he did find that Mordekaiser 2 right here instead of the Nila, but already had the Nila items, he instantly thought, hey, this is an auto-attack based champion, that Mordekaiser. Zoos up a little bit his auto-attack. Doesn't matter if he's not necessarily spiking with that AP, and give him the Nila items until that Nila 2 comes through. And it's actually like 15k damage with the wrong items. You take those.
You take those, but what you also take is upgrades, upgrades, upgrades all across the board. We're seeing a Twisted Fate 3 come through. We're seeing the Soraka 3 come through. We're even seeing the Jinx 3 come through for Dark Hydra, which probably answers all of our questions to the comp that we were talking about. Everything is going up in this Scuttle Puddle lobby now that players have mostly hit level 7. We're watching the 2 of them that are level 6 here fight it off, and Travis is going to take a hit.
Must feel so good to roll that at the same time as your opponents and actually beat that kind of reroll mirror. It makes you feel so much safer, and with junglers actually 82 HP, just chilling there.
Ooh, Prismatic.
Oh.
This could blow things out of proportion completely. I'm looking at things such as a hedge fund for somebody who's been banking gold right now, get you to that level 9 instantly, fully upgraded board with all the gold. I'm looking at, oh, he was banking that gold with his Demacia board. He hit something like an economy augment. You could sprint it to level 9.
For sure. We definitely like level 9 around here, that's for sure. And then we've got Cybernetic Bulk for the multicaster comp. Oh, another Demacia emblem for Og, trying to go for that level 9, close it out. He actually needs the points the most in this lobby, I think, at the moment. So that would be great for him.
Wow, and he did find that Mordekaiser too. That was your
Naturally,
stabilizer, right? So you've got a pretty okay front line. You do get the buffs from the Sona. 2-star Queen with 2-star Mordekaiser are your 2 main carries. They both have perfect items on them. So you're speedrunning that level 9 for the vertical line.
And we are seeing Yaroi also pick up the Ancient Archives here, is going to find a Noxus emblem out of that. And that will be the determining factor for actually selling off that Mordekaiser. No more needed. You now have your fully itemized Nila, and she will be helping you out with the Bruiser frontline. This is a comp we've been seeing so much of all throughout yesterday and the day before that. And once you get the windshield wipers on, it's hard to turn them off again.
I would like to 07 for that Mordekaiser for serving his purpose perfectly on Yavor's board through the entirety of stage 3. But as we saw, you mentioned the Nila makes perfect sense with the comp, of course, and with the items that were curated for her.
Look at that Soraka that's going to turn into a Mordekaiser. Just preparing.
What do you mean? That's a Soraka.
She
It's a Soraka
is
carry.
a
That's a Soraka
strong,
carry.
Okay, awesome.
independent banana thrower. How dare you? Hopping over to Og has found a second Quinn 2.
Oh, he
Has
actually rolled it down.
not found
Rolling it.
the J4-2, has not found the Zona 2, so unfortunately still lacking in some of these departments. Coming over to Dark Hydra, though, is on the blinding speed and has found the Jinx 3 that we were talking about earlier. I liked his front line, not so happy about the itemization being mainly on the Vi, but it is a Vi 3, so we give her that. Is looking for the Jace mostly.
This is exactly what I mentioned, that now you're 16 gold, you didn't hit your Jace. Of course you have your Jinx, but your second augment is kind of wasted because it's just a little bit of extra income. And you're still pretty far off hitting while balancing it with your economy. So...
I don't hate it. Should I hate it? I
Dark
don't
Hydra
hate
hates it
it
either. He just won.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing good. Why do you... All right. We will be looking at the carousel here. There's a sign which could be really big for the Bruiser players.
I wish I could see where the pings are to see who's ratting.
No ratting. Ignore them.
This is my favorite thing in carousels. Somebody who could be potentially like last pick will ping something for the people who pick first, so someone doesn't get to spike on an item. This is literally my favorite thing about TFT, the fact that somebody who has absolutely no control of the carousel controls the carousel.
Do you guys think Voltarius is coming back from this spot? Because he had a very nice third augment. He hit Leech for all of his rogues, and he had a second combat augment, which was a Lotus, and yet he has never been able to stabilize.
I would
Oh.
actually like to have a look at Voltarix's board because, again, rogues have a pretty good cap, but
Here we
unless
are.
you have a bunch of them 3-starred, and by a bunch of them, I mean, I think especially Kiana and Echo are two very pivotal units that you want 3-starred, especially the way Echo jumps into the backline as well. From the beginning, it doesn't even have to proc the rogue, but you do have the Graves and the Katarina. Can they carry you through?
We will see, right? He's very close to the Kiana. He knows that he's not allowed to touch the Jinx. That's contested. It's going to make it so much harder to find that unit. So she is not going to be a target for him here. But if anyone is comfortable on rogues, it is Volta. And I think for him, the big storyline here is that all of the other boards are getting really strong on the back of the Scuttle Puddle. And he has not been able to find just the right units, just the right items just yet. And he's clawing for survival. You can see it. 11 HP left to go. He has 0 gold. He's selling and buying and buying and selling to try and find at least that last Kiana here, but it's not coming through.
I don't even if it comes through right here. Kiana with one item is
Sell
going
the
to be
back
so
side.
pivotal. It could be potentially after the next Scuttle Puddle because you do have a bunch of these items. And the Leech helped a little bit survive that board over there, but without a lot of pen, it's very difficult to break through the shields.
Volta says he's a believer, and if we can trust anyone, then hopefully it's Volta going up against Yaoro. Yaoro on 16 HP. If he takes a very good loss, he is going to survive this one. I don't think the same is true for Volta, but his rogues are still
Katarina.
here. Katarina getting some extra casts out. The Kiana is still there. This will be the ultimate coming through, serving a lot of CC, allowing the Graves to actually do the damage that he needed to do. And Volta will be able to hang on here. Yaroi, though, on his last life now as well.
Oof, and he's looking for that Mordekaiser too. He does have a Bruiser Mordekaiser on his board, but he's not necessarily 2-starred, so he doesn't do the cap damage that you want him to do. And Volta right here, I feel like he won himself an extra life because he's still level 6. He's going to remain level 6. He needs to roll for that Kiana. He potentially needs to find an Echo, which is super far away. So I feel like Voltarix right here is playing for maybe a 6th?
Probably at best, yeah. We've got 2 players that are still above 50 gold, which is Travis Cat and Dark Hydra. Dark Hydra has been greeting out those Piltovers, getting a lot of value from that, and Travis Cat just stabilizing off the classic multicaster. Still one off Jayth, or 2 maybe, as I'm seeing. So still room to improve, and actually Ophelio is ready on the bench for the 4-gunner, which is big spike for his comp.
I really like that Travis has kind of taken it up and said, okay, if nobody else will successfully contest the multicasters of Zyko, then I will. But Wet Jungler finding the Nico 3 here after having found that Soraka 3. That's one big upgrade you're looking at, but other players are hitting as well. Trouble. Jace 3 coming through.
That was so pivotal right there for Dark Hydra's board. He has been looking for that the entire time. Hitting that Jace 3 with items on him is going to be the secondary carry that you're looking for in your Piltover line. But right here, Heroi is looking at the face of elimination.
Yeah, both of them are, right? It's a super close matchup between both of these players being so low. Volta on the left-hand side also fighting for survival. His rogues can maybe do it, but there is still one big chunky Cho'Gath making his way towards those rogues. The CC from the Kiana will not come through. The Graves is going to be useless here. The Cho will eat him up with that Nila, but Volta able to survive. Yaroi is going to be the one that takes an 8th here.
Fake last stand. Always love to see that. Didn't pick the augment, got it anyway.
Without the extras. Without the extras. Of course, right here, huge for Queen 3 for Og. He managed to find that Queen 3. He has the Mordekaiser 2 on his board as well. Now he can sort of not relax too much, but relax a little bit to at least try and go to that level 9 for the Demacia 9 run. I think it's the only thing you can do right now if you want to squeeze into the top 4.
Volta going up against Dark Hydra. Now the thing with Dark Hydra is he's not in the most stable spot just yet. He can still tank some losses on his Piltover board, and it might just be that this one goes the way of both of these players. Give Dark Hydra some stacks and let Volta be alive, but the answer is no. Volta going to get eliminated here by the Shimmering Inventors coming through. Question is, how does Og do? Og with the Quinn 3 not going to be strong enough, also reduced to 4 HP.
Oh my god, it's just not good enough. Queen 3, usually it's pretty strong.
Flashes the thumbs up.
You have the 2-star Aatrox as well, 2-star Mordekaiser with pretty sleek items on him. Not being able to get that W right here. I'm gonna assume it was Wet Jungler that put him down to his misery, but it's a pretty good line that's losing right now.
To be fair, the people we've seen winning with Demacia has always been Demacia 9 and risking it for the level 9 there. So that seems to be quite important because he's just not winning any fights and he's actually looking for a 6th here. That's very sad.
Yeah, it's not kind of what you expect when you look at the board, but the question is it maybe strong enough to deal with some multi-casters? In come the crescendos right at the get-go. Not enough to deal damage to the Quinn and the Sona on the other side of the board, though. Cataclysm hits, does not find the Twisted Fate, but finds everything else. Travis will lose this one, and Og is hanging on by a thread.
Jarvan so clutch right there, stunning the backline back to back. The Queen straight line going through every single carry in the backline as well. And I think we've discussed it a little bit on the broadcast that Queen is so strong into these multicasters because of the nature of having to reach the backline much easier than other carries.
For sure, a very strong unit in this scenario. We've got a Noxus emblem, but it's probably not being used by any of these players because there's no Noxus player. And Lanada managed to stabilize off those bruisers. He's got double RFC. I think he put it on Nila in the end. Double RFC with the bruiser. So that was a really scary comp for sure.
Gonna be seeing it. Lalana is on fire for now. Zyko finds the J4 off of the carousel here. It's gonna be a really good upgrade for the board.
Do you sell your Swens right here?
I don't think you can. I mean, who are you beating if you don't get the 3 stars?
Oh,
what's that? Okay, you're getting for perfect items. Go. Okay, that's good.
quick little remake here, but Og is still fighting for survival. And if I'm not mistaken, there are some scary players in the match pool. We'll be seeing Zyko and Og fight it out here on the other side. He does come through, and both of them are so low. Once again, the multicasters, Og did it before. The Demacia were strong enough before. The Quinn 3 dealing so much damage to that backline. The Cataclysm is going to come through one more time, and Og will be able to deal massive damage to Zyko here, knocking him out in 6th.
I think that was a little bit expected. We saw Og beat a much stronger multicaster board before, and I feel like Zyko's board was just not as capped. But saying that, low multicasters have gone back into the pool. As we can see right there, Travis is now actually falling down, and if he hits all the 3 stars right here, 2 more Vel'Koz is to go. He could be absolutely unbeatable in this lobby.
It's actually one of the advantages to be ahead in the early game, right? Because you could just screed it out and wait for the other person to die. And now he could even win the lobby if he hits that Vel'Koz 3-star, for sure.
Is on 18 HP though, and there are some scary players here. Notably, Wet Jungler has been on
One of them.
62 HP for forever, it seems like, is on the other side of the board. The Nico 3, the Soraka 3, can they be strong enough to take down a pretty strong multicaster board? Notably, the repetition augment not coming through for Travis is going to miss out on some really crucial damage that you always want to have with the multicasters, and he will be knocked down to 6 HP. But here is elimination of Og in 5th place.
Very low point earner for this tournament so far, and a bad placement for him, looking very grim. And Lalana hasn't been able to stabilize off the 6 Bruiser plus the Nyla. I guess he's just lacking a bit of damage because of the nerfs to the comp, because it looks like a really good board to me.
Absolutely. I feel like the Nila right there doesn't necessarily have the best items that she can. I feel like it's a little bit of a tickler right now. Lots of attack speed, but not necessarily anything to deal proper damage.
Like a GS, maybe?
Like a GS, for sure.
I really like that he just found the Sichuani. That's going to help in kind of allowing the Nila to deal damage as she kind of moves through the board. Travis, though, is still looking for that Vel'Koz 3. Pops the Anvil here, trying to see what's in here, trying to clear some bench space as he does want to pick up the J4. Finds it, finds J4 2. Big upgrade.
Oh!
And here he is, Vel'Koz 3 also coming alive. And this board is nearly all golden by now. Everyone coming to watch.
Are you swapping those items onto Jarvan or something? Yeah, exactly. Half on Jarvan, half on Swain or something like that, just to get max bulk value.
I wonder right there if there were more that were given for the Nila, more removers, but it's not going to be the case. Lalana is stuck with these items onto the Nila, and I don't know if it's going to be enough to just break through that front line.
Lalana and Travis, somebody has to get knocked out here. They're both so low, and it looks like the multicasters just might win this one. The Nila, she backs out, gets a shield, but it's not enough. In comes a fluff of Poros, taken down Lalana's Dowsy, and that is it. Travis solidifying his space in the top 3 after tragic runs in the first couple of games.
Making a name for himself right here, making sure that he comes back up. Day 1 didn't go that great for Travis, but he managed to get back up on that day 2 with the Ezreal as well yesterday. So he follows the same suit on day 3. Wasn't having the best of the day at the beginning, but right now he's bouncing right back. Just a quick reminder, you need that top 4 if you want to go to the World Championship. And of course, you need the most points if you want to be crowned the EMEA champion.
Dark Hydra went first last game, right? Or second?
First.
First, actually. And he's actually looking at almost going for level 9 with his gunner board. Only player so far in this finals that has actually been able to handle this composition well, because Og tried it twice and just went bottom.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Travis go up against Dark Hydra here, and Travis will do it again, will find yet another win to claw his way here through the tournament, through this day, trying to make some points somehow, maybe try and go for that 4th slot. I think the upper echelons are out of contention for him, but if the leaderboard goes his way, there's still a chance.
This is so important. He's greeting 79 gold. It's probably correct because you're missing out on so much damage if you go for level 9. But if you die this round, you feel horrible.
And look who you're playing. If you are Dark Hydra, you're playing Wet Jungler right now. You're just hoping that you're playing the Ghost and not the real one.
Maybe he can beat his real board. I don't know. Maybe some scenarios. Okay, he's facing Ghost. That's good for him.
That's Wet Jungler. Wet Jungler going up against Travis. Travis fighting for survival, and Dark Hydra also fighting for survival. We're going to be seeing who comes out on top of this. The multicaster frontline has crumbled under the Nico, under the Karma, under the Soraka, and the Invokers will knock out Travis. Question is, does Hydra make it? The answer is yes. He holds on, solidifies his top in the top 2. And I just want to say, Germany coming out 1 and 2. When I'm casting these games, this is built diff.
Absolutely, and I also want to quote a League of Legends champion that says greed is good, because Dark Hydra, you mentioned, he's greeding his gold. He wants to be able to go level 9, but also roll down to get these upgrades, and right here, he will most likely have the gold to do this. 90 gold in his inventory right now. He's going to absolutely speed run it to level 9 and 23 to roll down.
I love
Maybe
that.
just sit here because you want to keep 30, so because it's in intervals of 10, right? So he's got like 15% damage extra. Or
We're going to double down on the greed is good. We're going to double greed?
I
He
mean, got
has Shimmering
Zon.
Inventor, so
He got Zon for his Jinx. It's not horrible, so I can see it.
I like this. I like greed. I think it's good. Wet
It's
Jungler.
11 HP, guys. It's 11 HP.
But you don't necessarily
But
get
you're
stronger by
doing
rolling.
good. Let's see. Wet Jungler, 36 HP. He can absolutely tank some more losses, which is why he's not spending any of the gold he's racked up. He saw Dark Hydra going to 9, saying, okay, if you do that, I can do that too. Just wait a couple of rounds, leaning back here, watching as the fight unfolds. Nico's still alive, but not for long. Down she goes with the Gunners, and Dark Hydra knocking down Wet Jungler to 21. I think he can take one more good loss, and then that's going to be it.
Another crucial decision for him to roll down or not to roll down. If it's been working out, just keep on doing the same thing. But you would obviously want to have Sign 2-star, Gambling 2-star, maybe the Heimerdinger because you get a better turret. I don't know. It's a very good game for him because it's so hard to manage this game.
I feel like because there are no upgrades currently for Wet Jungler, as you can see, he's banking up his gold as well to try and level up, go to the level 9, find the 5-cost upgrades. I feel like they're shaking hands pretty much here, and they're like, hey, one more loss, Wet Jungler can take one more loss. She's at 21 HP. They go through the Scuttle Puddle PvE round, and then they're both rolling down on level 9.
All right, let's see if there's maybe a little bit of change in pace for this one. I didn't catch any big movement changes in positioning, but maybe something happened to change the outcome of this game. Nico in the middle of the pack here is going to fall. Taric is going to fall. No one can stop these Gunners, at least no one that Wet Jungler has built. In comes the damage, does hang on with 4 HP as we move into one more PvE round.
I feel like, if anything, that fight went even better for Hydra right there. That Nico died instantly.
That extra damage was percentage from the Shimmering Inventors. I mean, this is such a well-navigated game. I have played this in tournaments. I do not recommend anybody to do it because you get a heart attack. It's definitely nerfs of steel for him. And I'm actually so glad to see him perform so well in this line.
It's really, really cool, I think. If you're going to top 1 a game with something like this, it's just so much cooler.
Yeah, for sure. Also, the possibility of getting a 3rd item on Gunplank. He's got about 20 gold to roll, right? For some No, 1 star. Oh, this one, yeah,
On
sure.
Wet
Oh,
Jungler side, yeah.
oh, on the bench, okay. Sweet.
Okay, the Silco 2 coming through. We're rolling for potentially a 2-star Gangplank on Dark Hydra side. A 2-star Heimerdinger would also be pretty useful right there. Level 9 for Wet Jungler.
And he stops. Yeah, you want to keep the 50 gold. It's a lot of damage for Jayth. I mean, it has to work out. I'm pretty sure about this.
Wet Jungler now also
Feels
popping
wrong.
that Anvil.
So wrong,
Feels
man.
so wrong.
Feels
It
so wrong,
feels
man.
so right is what you're trying to say. One more time, they do go down. Is a level up from Wet Jungler enough to maybe change anything here? Or is the 50 gold power on the Shimmering Inventors just dealing so much extra damage for Dark Hydra to move through the boards here? And you can see the front line is melting in front of her eyes. Nico will have nothing to hold back on here. And the Soraka actually will do it! She will do it! The difference of a banana between Wet Jungler and Dark Hydra, and he does make it.
Oh
Okay,
my
now
god.